Welcome to the Listen to Your Footsteps podcast. I'm your host, Kojo Baffoe. My guest today is Coco Reinarhz, a renowned and celebrated chef, restaurateur, and food entrepreneur. Chef Coco, as he's commonly and intimately known, is a culinary storyteller known for his inventive dishes that blend multiple cultures, heritage, and history. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's really a pleasure.
Was there a moment when you decided, do you know what, I want to be a chef?
Okay. Yes and no. Okay. So to give you some context, I always say that I've started this journey of being a chef some 80 years ago. And I mean 80, not 18. It started when my grandfather decided to become a chef, who then gave the passion to my mother, and who then my mother gave me not the passion. I really believe at this point it's in my DNA. It's really something that I've tried to run away from. Okay, so when you are late teenager, you become a bit rebellious. You want to do your own thing, because from the child, every weekend, school holiday, it was going to work in my mother's kitchen. So I was in that, in that field already.
Yeah.
And at 18, I was like, oh no, I want to be an engineer. And my mother really wisely just laughed at me and was like, wow, okay, that's a big move. But I really understand that. Please go ahead. It's going to be great, because then I don't have to pay for the school fees. You can go and work for that. But it's fine. I'll find you work. Because at that time it was in Belgium. So she was still in Kinshasa. So now, definitely, I'll help you find a job. I know a couple of friends of mine who own restaurant. Maybe you can go and work there during the weekend. And after I realized it was a clever way of her not allowing me to move out of this field. And then after a year, I was like, this is not for me.
What was it about engineering that you went?
It's building. It's about building. I wanted to be a construction engineer. I wanted to build. For me, it was, yes, go to Europe, study, and then come back and build Africa. Because we need, and there is a market for that. And there still is market for that. And then eventually my DNA starts talking to me and starting acting funny.
Was there anything else that you, like when you were younger, that you thought, because as you described, working in the kitchen was home.
It
was what?
It's not only home. After that, some what do you call it, psychologist or something like that, explained to me that the way I was born, okay. So my mother was pregnant of me while she was working in the kitchen. So the noise of the kitchen, the pots banging, for me, or for my body, for my subconscious, it's comfort noise. That's why I like being in the kitchen. That's why everything that wants to pull me out of there cannot work. So, yeah.
So
that's the reason.
You were basically born to be a chef.
Exactly. It's no longer a passion. It became a passion, and then the passion of being with people, the passion of talking to people, the doors that have been opened to me by being a chef or a restaurant owner. It's amazing. There are people who cannot have that. I've talked to people on a very open level that even some ministers are struggling. When I was talking to a head of state, the minister was like, next time I need something for the big boss, I need to come and see you, because whenever he sees you, we are second in line. It's like, oh, let me talk to Coco first, and then I will come and see you, or speak to CEOs of big multinational on that level. So it have opened me like doors that I could never ever imagine. That's why I think I still love it. It's the human touch that being a restaurant owner that give, even being a chef, because you touch to a very sensitive part of the people, which is their stomach. You control them in a way. So yeah.
And food, I mean, food is an interesting, I guess it's an interesting medium, if you want to call it that. It's interesting in how it brings people together. Many families, couples, communities, societies have ritual and tradition that is based around food.
It's really what you're saying. I always say food is a love language. It's a language that allows you to touch people very deeply. In a way, I speak a couple of languages, but every time I meet someone, okay, with a language that I don't know, you meet a Japanese and you greet him in his language, or just say thank you in his language. I mean, you've won 90% of that person. Even if after you're going to say, oh, that was just the greeting, that's all. But it's that effort. Same way of the type of food I'm doing, okay? I meet somebody from Chad, okay, or from Senegal. I say, okay, can I do a lamb daghin for you? That person will be like, no, I mean, this is so touching. This is, how do you know? It's like you're showing interest to somebody else's culture. And that's really, really invaluable.
But that's the skill that you have that not many people have. I mean, that's what set you apart. And I mean, you trained, what was your training like? And how did you then, it feels like you know about every single dish on this continent. Right?
Well, let's
how did you go from, the training, what was the training that you did, to getting to where you are today?
So the training I had, it was in Belgium. It's very Eurocentric. The closest to Africa we got in that training, okay, was half a page notes, okay, on South African wines. Not even the food. So on the enology syllabus, it was like half a page. Yeah, actually, like there are people down there trying to do some wine, and it was that line. And then all the food we were taught and whatever, I was like, there's no food that talk to me. There's not food that says who I am. Every time we'll speak to how can I say, to people from Spain who are in that course, they will come and do their paella, and then we had like cultural day and whatever. And once I remember I did the African food day, so I did like one dish from Congo, which was very simple and very, I would say, entry level, which is a chicken in peanut butter sauce with rice and cassava leaves. Well, couldn't find cassava leaves, so I had to ask my aunt to cook for me some cassava leaves. But I did the chicken with peanut butter and the rice. Everybody loved it. I said, oh, like, is this what you guys eat? I was like, what do you think do you think we eat mussels, steak and chips and things like that? No, that's not what we eat. We eat that, if you go to a restaurant or maybe when we try to do, but this is our home food. And then I realized that, there is something missing here. There is something that, how can I say, a market maybe for Europe on African food. And then at the same time, my mother in Kinshasa had a restaurant which was called Pili Pili, which was doing both, because she was also trained Belgian food and whatever, but she had that vision already of saying, we need to have also, we had two menus, okay, in one. One page was the European food, the other page was Congolese food. She was very famous for that. Like, nobody big in the world will go to Kinshasa without going to my mother's restaurant, because that's where people wanted to, how can I say, to showcase what they have. You know, in that time in Congo, it was Zaire, and Zaire was very strong about showing the African way and whatever. So they were really pushing that. So then when I opened my own restaurant here first in Johannesburg, I was doing a French cuisine, okay? But I had that concept from my mother. I said, let me have 2 or 3 starter from Africa, 2 or 3 main course. Actually, we started with one starter, 1 main course, 1 dessert from Africa. And people, oh wow, I see there's some interest here. And then 2 starters. Then before I realized, half the menu was with African. Then from Greenside, I moved to Morningside at C'est les Poivres. There it was also a proper French bistro inside a hotel. And then from there, I also started.
Sorry, that was like one of Joburg's best kept secrets. Yeah. C'est les Poivres.
Yes.
I remember coming to eat there. I think that's when I first met you. But I remember coming to eat and I didn't know about it. And then somebody said, I think myself and Estelle was an anniversary or something, and we were looking for a restaurant to go to, and somebody said, go to this restaurant. And we're like, when you drive in, you don't see it from the street, there's no advertising. It just, if you knew about it. So I think it by word of mouth.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. It was those type of restaurant by word of mouth only. There was no social media to advertise. Yeah. To advertise in a magazine like Wine Magazine or Food and Home will cost you an arm and a leg. We couldn't afford, so we'll be like, okay, let's do it just by word of mouth, and we did. 10 years there, and when I finished at the Quartermain with C'est les Poivres, that's where I say, hang on, I think the next move have to be the other way around. Maybe I should try to just go 100% Africa. And this time I had traveled Africa a lot, and I love every time I come from a country, I will create a dish and try to not modernize it, but to give it my expression of that, my vision of that. And obviously it will be not something too hot or something that will be adapted to the market without changing the food. The only changing I have ever allowed myself to do is visual change.
Okay.
Because I'm not recreating African gastronomies. I'm not changing the narrative of African food. What I'm changing, it's the way we see it, the visual effect. Because you can say whatever you want, you eat first with your eyes. Okay? Especially something you are not used to. Okay, I know tripe or muhudu. I grew up with that. Yeah. So as ugly as it looks, okay, when I see it, it reminds me my childhood. It reminds me memories. It reminds me maybe my mother. You understand? So for me, it's the ugliness that actually makes it. Like my wife has done with curry where it's been cleaned, and I'm like, no, that's not the tripe that I eat. So this clean, pretty looking one is not going to taste right. As long as you don't. So what I like to do is to change the visual, because I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell goat pepper soup only to people from West Africa or Central Africa. I want somebody from North Africa to see, oh, this
looks interesting.
Look nice. Yeah. It looks, maybe I can try. I want a Japanese to come and try muhudu. You understand? And if it doesn't look nice, you'll be like, But if it looks nice, you'll taste Okay? The flavor will still be the same. And then it will be like, wow. Now I understand why you guys love this food. Now I understand why this food needs to be shown more. So every time I travel, I make sure I eat only African, only the food from that place. Okay? I always say it will be stupid to be invited in Burkina Faso and go and eat a pizza. I mean, really, what a waste of opportunity or time. So I always make sure that I eat local. And I see more and more, even, big hotel, big brands, they now having local corner, which is already a winning for me.
Yeah.
You understand? You'll go to a 5-star in Lagos, there'll be a corner with Nigerian food. You go in Nairobi, there'll be a corner with the Swahili food. You go in North Africa, there'll still be a corner. So that's great. And with all the travel that I've done, that's why I was like, yeah, just go 100% African. You know enough to make a menu that will make people travel into those parts of the continent. That's why I say Epicure is not really is not only a restaurant. It is a place where you go to have an experience, okay? But you don't have to go there just because you want an experience. You can go there every day. You know, when they go to a casual French restaurant, they're not looking for an experience, okay? But you'll eat something French, you'll eat something Italian in an Italian restaurant. So we need, especially as African, to start doing that. I'm not going to eat at Epicure only when I want African food.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It has to become natural to go to a restaurant like Epicure when you need food. Okay? That's why if you do or design your restaurant just for your community, okay, most of the time they will eat African food at home. Then when they come there, okay, it's for maybe something elevated, something, but you don't want that. You want people to come every day as a business.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why you need to open your, how can I say, your vision to other communities. Make sure somebody from France, from South America, from Asia will also see and be attracted by that food genre.
What brought you to South Africa?
So I came to South Africa for a 6-month job, almost 25 years ago. And it was my first trip to South Africa. And after a week, I was like, well, you know what? I will do whatever it takes for me to end my life here. You understand? It's the type of Africa all African countries would love to have. Okay? It had the development, it had the basic needs that you can have as a family, and then it was very affordable at that moment. So after 3 months, I went back to Belgium, and then I told my wife and kids, okay, we have found a new home in Africa. In 3 months, when I come back, get ready.
We're moving.
They were like, what? I was like, yes. We are doing that. And then things happen without me even realizing it's Epicure time today. It went pop quickly. And it's really the opportunity that South Africa offered me that I could not find anywhere else.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really the land of opportunity.
And for the family settling here, how was that?
It was it was not easy. My daughters were very small. She was, Timori was 12, yes. But no, was 11, and Noemi 9 to 10. So, you know, I could not afford the French school. So we put them in the local school. We were living in Greenside. So they were at Parkview Primary. So, but they didn't speak English at all. The only English they knew then, it was, how are you? With that very strong accent.
Yeah.
And, but I couldn't afford the French school. It was too expensive. So I said, okay, we're going to try and then we'll see. So we put them in school. Like every day it was tears when they come back because they don't understand what the teacher is saying. They can't play with anybody in the school because nobody can communicate with them. So crying every single day. Well, after the first term, I was like, no, it's not possible. I cannot make them suffer. I will make sure I try to find money, maybe work harder or find something else to pay for the French school. But so I went to the school, see the head lady at the school there. And I said, okay, thank you very much for your help. We have tried, we have thing, but as a parent, it's really difficult to see your kids crying every night, every single night. I don't see any improvement and whatever. And that lady said, no. Please call the teacher for Timori and Noemi here. And then she explained to them, this is not happening. They want to leave the school because they say, what? No, please don't. They are doing amazing. We have never seen in 3 months people being able to do what they have achieved. And I was like, hang on, what's wrong with these kids? What they're telling me and what the teacher is telling me is two different things. So they begged me, please give us another term and then you'll see. And then they stayed, and at the end of that year, okay, Timori, the older one, had the best mark in English from the school. Not that class. The school have never seen English mark that level. And today, Timori and Noemi, because Anaya was born here after, Timori and Noemi have become English speakers. They don't speak French anymore, unfortunately. But that's one thing they will thank me for the rest of their life, because it have opened so many other doors to them. The fact they speak English, because imagine I had the money and then we put them in the French school. Maybe they will not be fluent in English. Now they are fluent in English like crazy. So yeah, it's that's how this whole thing with bringing the family, when they start, how can I say, feel home in South Africa. That's why they cannot do a year without coming here. They're like, oh, no. Noemi is living and working in Dubai. She loves Dubai, but she misses home. And when you say, where is home? Home is South Africa for all of them. Don't take Anaya, who was born while we were here and went to school here all her life. She feels South African. She can't see herself anywhere outside South Africa. But
where's home for you? Somebody asked me this question on the podcast, and it was a very difficult question to answer.
So for me, it's very easy. It's very easy. Home is not South Africa, it's Johannesburg.
Okay, yeah.
Because when I go to Cape Town, I don't feel home. When I'm in Durban, when I'm in, home is Joburg.
I get that. I always tell people I'm not South African, but I'm a Joburger. This is my city.
this is, and I've never lived anywhere this long. I've never lived anywhere this long in one go.
Yeah.
No.
But you also it always feels like you're on the move.
Unfortunately, I am. I mean, in the last, 10 years, I have traveled in Africa, something like at least 30 different countries. Before that, so far, I have 13 countries left for me to visit in Africa out of the 54. Next week, I'm going to Algeria for the IATF with the Afrexim Bank, where there is a Canex on African food. I'm invited there as a speaker. And that's one of the countries that I've never been to. So I've made sure that I arrive 1 day before my speech. Okay, I have booked already a couple of restaurants that do Algerian food, and I'm staying one extra day to also go visit some historical centers, because you need to understand. And for me, the best way to understand people have become to eat their food. I always say, tell me what you eat, I will tell you who you are. Yeah. So so it's a must. I always take opportunities like that to make sure that I have made the most out of a trip. When I come back, for sure there will be something special on the menu from Algeria that I would love to share with people coming there, because it's not everybody who is, how can I say, lucky enough to be traveling to all those countries. All the people that I work with, I will show them a new dish from North Africa, or 2 dishes from North Africa, so I can widen their vision and their knowledge as well.
How did that come about? Because, I mean, so you've had restaurants and you've always kind of run restaurants and been a chef. But there's this, it feels like a parallel, or it's overlapped, where you speak, you mentor, you curate around food, and you speak like you're doing. And because the idea, the image of most kind of restaurateurs and chefs is you're fixed to, okay, this is your place. But you've always married that with just going out and speaking about it, and I guess educating and building awareness around the positioning of African food.
Exactly. That's what I love. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what my goal in life is to really make sure people understand African food, start eating only African food, or more and more African food. So you need to educate. You need to educate, and education starts with the people that work with you, people that cook with you. You need to showcase all that, and you have people who've been to Senegal, okay, but have never heard about maybe a dahin. What is it? So you teach them, people who don't know that, in Cameroon, I've been in Cameroon, we eat something like this, but it's very close to what you are doing here from Congo. Yes, it's normal that it's close because it's the same region. People eat the same thing. So all that, it takes time, it takes dedication, because without all that, you cannot. It's not, and also because it's not so well documented. It's not something. Today you have people who have opened Italian restaurants. Those people have never been to Italy. Never even been to any. Don't even have Italian origin or descent, but they're doing well. It's understood, the business and whatever. But here, it's something new that are brought into the market. And the reason that I wanted I love eating out. I love eating food. So, and I don't want to go and eat only things that are not talking to who I am. So if I look for an African restaurant, okay, before that you will be sent in dodgy places where you don't feel safe. And when I say safe, it's not only safety about I'm gonna be robbed or whatever. No, safety of your stomach. Wow, me eating out of this plate? No, I don't feel safe eating. Don't feel safe eating in this environment. That's why I say we cannot afford not to do something great for Africa. It doesn't make sense for me. Being in Africa, being a son of Africa, being a business person, and not trying to do something. And I'm so happy every time I see there's a new African restaurant which is open in an upmarket suburb and in an upmarket setting. Yeah, because look at Johannesburg. We have, banks which are world class. We have stadium which are world class. We have hospital which are world class. And then why we can't have African restaurant which are world class?
And African specifically.
Exactly.
Like you're saying, it's easy to find Italian, Spanish, all kinds of European.
Yeah.
But if you want
even Asian,
Asian now.
Yeah.
But if you want anything African, it tends to be a novelty, a novelty type of restaurant. So it's like, oh, they have African food. And for me, it's always been funny because we are in Africa. So to call it African food when it's maybe from a particular part of Africa.
Yeah.
Whereas with your restaurant, because you're taking us on this journey, and I remember the last time I ate there, like you talk about, okay, we're going to start in.
Exactly. So it's a food journey.
And on your palate, within this one dish, for example, you're going to be here and here. And then the next dish is going to carry on the journey down there.
It's a food journey that I'm selling at Epicure. And I wanted as much as possible to start becoming more natural. That people don't go to Epicure just because they want to have something special from Africa or to eat something special. It's like, okay, I want to go eat. Let me go and eat. And then you will always be, I'm not going to say surprised, but always going to be liking what you're going to get. It's something new. It's something, we need to eat African food as every day.
So how do you reconcile that as, for example, you're an entrepreneur, you own a restaurant. There's also what you're talking about, the need as Africans for us to change the perception of our food, evolve that food, and to a certain extent be able to document it. Because if you're doing it alone, it's great for you as a business and you can build that attention. But how do we then ensure that carries on? So for example, if I'm learning from you, I can go open a restaurant and now I'm your competition, which for some people will say it's in conflict with what you're looking to maybe achieve as a business person.
Yeah. So what I'm looking to achieve as a business person is, first of all, I think there is enough space for more than 100 African restaurant. That's is not competition. I like training the people who work with me. Okay? And then, as you say, people will tell you, yeah, but train them, what's going to happen. As you say, tomorrow, your chef that you have trained for now more than, I don't know how many years, he knows his stuff, and whatever, he's going to go and open his restaurant, and then you're going to have to start over again and whatever. And I'm like, imagine if I did not train him. Imagine if you do not train your staff. Where are you going to be? You're going to be worse than training them and keep changing them. You cannot, as a business person, you cannot not train your staff because they're going to go to the competition or work with the competition, because the competition is going to offer them 1,000 rands more and whatever. But that's the nature of business. You cannot not train your staff because you're afraid they're going to go. Otherwise, you're never going to grow. And for me, I want to grow. I want to see Epicure expanding in Africa, in Dubai, because all that, all those markets are virgin territories for African food experience, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and I cannot be here and in Dakar at the same time and in Dubai at the same time. No, you have to open, you have to train people, and you have to understand that not everybody have what I can call entrepreneur vision.
Yeah.
You have people who will be better at cooking than me, but first, they don't have the knowledge that I have. Okay? I'm not saying, but I have not seen a lot of chefs who understand African food the way I understand, who live African food the way I live, who have the same vision for African food the way I have. So people will always copy you. But what a great honor to be copied, man.
And entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
Exactly. And I would love people to copy me. That's the best legacy you can leave on this earth. Yeah, we have learned this from Chef Coco. I have discovered this with Chef Coco. What else do you want to leave on this earth? So if you are scared of being copied, you will never be a successful entrepreneur. Never. So being copied, for me, it's an honor, and I love it. And that will not stop me for sharing and giving as much knowledge around me as I can. That will definitely not.
What goes into starting a restaurant?
Craziness. You must be somebody crazy. You must be somebody who did something in your previous life, and as a punishment, they send you back on earth and say, you're gonna be in hospitality. That's where you belong for everything you've done before. So, as I said earlier, for me, it's not something that I'm only passionate about. It's something that I've always known. You know, as a kid, we always say, kids, it's monkey see, monkey do. I was telling that my daughter yesterday. That's what I've seen my mother doing her whole life. It's being a restaurant owner. That's what I saw a little bit of my grandfather doing, which my mother, I'm sure, copied because of that. My daughters, I think they are more clever than me. They realize, and they did not do anything wrong in their life, in their previous life, to deserve being that. I still have some hopes of working with Noemi, who did a master in hospitality in Dubai, but she prefer more the the event organization. So she's more into the event, and she's doing very well for herself. So yeah, that's the closest to the hospitality the next generation gonna be. But you never know. I always say, until you create something so successful and powerful, then maybe your kids are not wanting to come work with you, or maybe they will try at a later stage. But I don't know. We'll see what the next what happen after I decide to start enjoying life. But I am enjoying life.
I asked that question because I've always just been fascinated by how granular and how micro you have to go in terms of starting a restaurant. And it's like, okay, what's the first seed that's planted? Because I mean, there's designing a menu, but the starting off with just one dish, and then there's the environment. There's where you get your food. There's cutlery. It feels like there's so much. When I look at it, I go, okay, but where do you even begin?
But it all begin with the passion. You have to be passionate about it. It's a crazy life enough that you really have to be passionate and think like, okay, I want to do a restaurant. It's the passion and the vision. And then everything else, I have said to the latest team that I'm working with is, at this point where I want to go, I don't want to hire anybody that I have to micromanage. I don't have time for that anymore. Okay? You need to hire people who can micromanage for you. I don't want a chef that I need to tell how to cook this. What we do, okay? I've designed the menu. I come up with the idea. It's like, you're writer. I'm like, you give me a blank page. Where do I start? What? That page will stay blank for the rest of the life. You understand? I don't know
Unless
that.
you're writing a recipe on it.
Yeah, unless I'm writing a recipe on it. And for me, I create a recipe, I try and blah, and then I bring my second in command in the kitchen. I say, taste this. This is how I want. We try this until we develop a dish. I say, okay, this for me, the dish is a true reflection of the original dish. Then we can go ahead and put it on the menu. We do all that, and then we work on the wine list. We work on the different cocktails, because all the cocktails have to make sense. I'm not gonna do a menu so sophisticated and have only margarita and mojito or something which is too Eurocentric, or So you need to create a recipe as well, and for the cocktail, and understand them. And so once you have, how can I say, you have put people around you who understand that, okay, who have a basic knowledge of how to cook something, okay, they can always assist you, and you start developing with them. And every time I go, like when I come to Algeria, we'll have 3 days work session where we're gonna try a couple of dishes and see which dish we can put on the menu of Epicure.
That's why you're able to have 2 restaurants in 2 different cities.
Exactly. So at the moment, it's I'm between here and Kinshasa, and there is more coming, and then we'll see. But you cannot not have people who are knowledgeable enough, and for them to be knowledgeable enough, you need to transmit that knowledge. You need to document that. We're starting working on a second cookbook on the recipes, and
I know that because I mean, you started Epicure before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that you had really big plans. And I remember us talking around that time, and like it did for so many people, like COVID and lockdown literally changed a lot of plans. Um, how did you cope with? I mean, all of a sudden you had the restaurant, and it was starting to grow, and it was starting to carve a space for itself in the city. And then all of a sudden you have to shut it down, and there's nobody there, and you have to make decisions. You have to then make decisions about, you know, do I keep it open? Do I keep the space? Do I close the space because everything is unknown? How did you deal with that? And how did you, I mean, what was it that kept you going?
So at first it was depressing. Okay, it was like, why it have to happen almost when I was, starting to fly and whatever. And then after, I realized that it was actually a blessing in disguise. I like to say COVID was the best thing that ever happened to me. It allowed me to realign. You understand? I was too much into this, too much doing too much things at the same time, blah, blah, blah. And maybe I'm the cause of COVID. Maybe I'm the one who created COVID. I mean, maybe
Don't worry,
the
no.
universe created COVID because of me saying, okay, this guy is going places that we don't want. Let's shut down the world because he cannot just shut down himself. And then he can refocus, reorganize, change his business model, focus on other places. That's how I went to Dubai during the expo, which opened up to me to the Dubai market. Okay,
And I mean, that was
And
big
then
because you were managing,
it was
you were curating literally the whole Africa.
the whole African thing. You understand? And it allowed me to study the market there. It allowed me to see what's happening, and it allowed me to travel. Okay, to have a knowledge which was multiplied by 2 or 3. Okay, and yes, it did affect me financially. It did affect me emotionally. It did affect my life in general. But that what was needed. That what was needed. And when the opportunity of open Epicure in Rosebank came, but it came long time ago. That place, the lease have been signed or agreed. Okay, in 2022.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious because that's how strong my vision of location was. The building took a little bit extra time to come out, but that's exactly the type of places I needed. And I was in no hurry, okay, to open. Thanks God, I was financially secured. Everything else I was doing helped me doing that. So I was not in a rush. We were offered places. They say, oh, come here, put Epicure here. We're going to give you, 2 years rent-free and whatever. But if you give me 2 years rent-free in a place that I don't see Epicure happening, I don't see Epicure flourishing, why, you can even give me 10 years. It's not gonna work there. It's as simple as that. And then that's what is now opening me other doors to other destination, to other location, because I didn't want something that will be not to the same level of the previous Epicure and not even higher on level to Epicure. We went, I believe we went in the offering couple of level above the previous epicure. And that's what makes me believe in this. And that's the reason that I want to surround myself with people who know better than me. So everybody who are employed at the higher level, I tell them, I'm tired of telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hire people who will tell me what to do. Otherwise, it's too frustrating and how can I say? It doesn't work as a business person to have people that you have to tell every day what to do.
Because they're not vested.
Yeah.
You need people to be vested in the space.
Yeah.
For it to feel as important, and for them to be able to approach the experiences being created in the same way that you would.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you're saying, all you're doing is people are going through the motions. And for that kind of space and that kind of experience, you can't afford that because you're not always in the room.
And I don't want to be always in the room. I can't always be in the room.
It's like the last time I was there, I spent more time looking for you. And I'm like, where's Chef? And they're like, oh, I'm not sure. Because they were, it was their space. It wasn't your space.
Yeah. And I want that to be more and more effective. I want, when you have a business, how can I say? When you have a business vision, okay, you need to be able to share that vision. You need to be able to live that vision, which is to be in different places. You need to give yourself the tools to be like that. Until there will be, the humanity will be able to clone people, okay? I still need, there will still be only one Chef Coco, and it doesn't want to, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that I need to be there to take the menu, take the order. I don't want to do that anymore. That doesn't passionate me as much as going to learn, for example, what's happening in Algeria, going to learn how the food of Somalia is very close to the food of northern part of Kenya, how that whole region eating. I'm more and more, how can I say, attracted by that.
Who cooks at home?
I never cook at home. Like never.
Are you able to put your chef's hat down, whether you're eating at home or you're eating in a restaurant? Definitely.
And whether it's my restaurant or at home, I definitely have to remove my chef hat.
Yeah.
Okay, because I how can I say, I treasure life. I like.
Yes, I
want to be alive.
I get you.
You understand? So that I definitely have to take that out, and it's easy for me to take that hat off because she cooks amazingly. Okay, and I love life.
In case she's listening to this.
Exactly. But so that's one of the most difficult thing that always happened to me. It's when I go to a restaurant, I make sure that nobody knows who I am. Not that I'm a celebrity or whatever. No, it's like when people, or even when the people invite you at their home, oh my Lord, they're like, they sweating. They're like,
yes,
it's too much pressure. We're gonna cook for a chef. How am I gonna do it? And they sometimes trying to overdo it. Then like, why you just do a toasted sandwich, man? If that's all you can do. And I came here to be with you. You understand? I didn't come here to have a food experience that now all of a sudden I'm gonna compare this food with the 3 Michelin star that I had, or the food I had at La Colombe in Cape Town. No, it's here just to have home food with you, or because you invited me to your birthday, and that's it. Don't put your pressure. And as chefs, they say it's like the shoemaker is the one who have the worst shoes. I've eaten in places that even if you put a gun here, I will not say. I'd rather keep that silent. But we eat, as chef, you eat everything. You explore. You need to know. So you cannot. There's a saying in Swahili that say you cannot enjoy the light, okay, if you never been to a dark place. You understand? How can I? Let me say it. How can I enjoy the best food at La Colombe or any other restaurant we have, top restaurant we have in South Africa, if I have never tasted McDonald's? How? Okay? And there are some time of the day or the morning or the night, and McDonald's is just what you needed. That's all you needed. You didn't need a 3-course meal or 7-course food experience. No.
Mine was a steak and kidney pie.
Yeah.
When you're coming back, when I used to still go out, when you're coming back from the club at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We know those stations,
and you stop at the petrol station
that have the best steak
and kidney pie.
We know them. That's why they are open.
Yeah.
That's why they are still alive. But yeah.
And when you're not working, are you ever not working? What do you do? What interests you when you're not working?
So let me put it like this. I love eating out. And when I say I love eating, I really love eating. I am, without any doubt, the chef in Johannesburg who go eat out in other restaurants more than any, because I've hardly seen any of restaurant owner in my restaurant, 1 or 2 and whatever, but I always go and eat out in other restaurants because I love it. I love the restaurant ambience. I love being in a restaurant. When I don't want to look at my restaurant, I go outside. It's eating restaurant. We were invited during last week in Portugal. Okay, I made sure I eat Portuguese food every single breakfast, lunch, dinner. It cost me 7 kilos more when I came back, but I'm telling you, I was eating out and playing golf every single.
Okay, so there's golf.
Let's go. Yes, that's have become my the best place to have my me time. Yeah, it's really what have the place where I go and enjoy myself. Okay, it's on a golf course. Golf course, walking, cigar on hand, and my wife said, "What sport is that? You tell me you're going to sport You are, yes, okay, you are walking 9 kilometers and whatever, or 10 because ball go all over the place. But you have your cigar. Is that sport?" Yes. That is more sport than playing chess. Chess has become a sport. So I'm a couple of levels above. It's not marathon, but to be honest, it's being in that nature. And in South Africa, we are really blessed enough to have so many golf courses you can go and be relaxed, be in a green, in a greenery, and that color, seeing green all the time dampers you.
I mean, I never got into golf, but I do remember talking to somebody who was a potential mentor. And he was quite high-powered in business, and his wife was also quite senior in business. And I remember him saying to me, and it's the closest I came to actually trying out golf, where I even said to the wife, you know, maybe we should go for lessons. Because he said between he and his wife, because they were always working, the golf course was an opportunity for the two of them to be together for 4 hours. Even if it was once every 2 months.
You must give me the detail. I can try to ask them to convince my wife and see it like that it's a time that we can be together. Because golf is another thing that also, if you get hooked by golf, more and more now believe that something else also you did in your previous life. So I must have been a very bad guy.
I have quite a few friends. One of my recent
when you're obsessed with golf, it's
one of my recent guests, Brian Baloy, the former footballer. I know he's also a big golfer. But I have friends who, once they got into it, all of a sudden we start seeing less of them.
Yeah, because it takes you.
I've never
5 hours.
It hasn't bitten me yet.
It takes you 5 hours to do one round, huh? And depends what you're doing on the 19 hole. It's up to you.
And I know we have a shared love for cigars.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where I managed to combine both. I can smoke a very good cigar while I'm walking. I don't like smoking in closed door. It's one of the things that I've really enjoyed. I come to learn more and more about cigars, about the different terroir, about the different flavor profile from where it comes from, and and it's also something that takes you a lot of time. Again, you cannot smoke a cigar in 1 hour. You need 2-3 hours to smoke one, and then maybe enjoying another one, and then once you are, So,
because I always tell people that for me, a cigar is about time.
Exactly.
It's about taking time because you cannot rush it.
Yeah.
And I also say, because I don't hang out a lot, but I'm like, if a cigar smoker lights a cigar in your company, it actually says a lot about your company, because they are saying, I'm willing to sit with you for minimum of the next hour, because once I've done this, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving.
Yeah. No, exactly. The passion of cigar also have something that have grown a lot in me, to understand the different origin, to do some course, to do some tasting. I also have a brother-in-law I think he's looking to have, he wants to have a master degree in cigar. He's so passionate, and he never used to smoke. And
I think I met him.
You met him once, yes. And he's the one who, I like to think or say that I'm the one who introduced him to cigar, okay? But he's the one who made me fall in love to cigar to the next level. Yeah. I used to smoke cigar before he even started to smoke. And but now he's a master in cigar knowledge.
And now a very random question. How many scarves do you have? Because there's the signature Coco scarf around the neck. I don't think I've ever seen, I don't know if I've ever seen you without the scarf.
Maybe you always see me in winter. But in summer, I don't wear. I like to protect my neck, especially with the age. It's an excuse that I want to put in. I like to have scarves, and really, I don't know how many, but it must be a couple of dozens of scarves.
There's probably just a section in the suitcase when you're traveling.
That's that definitely. I travel with more than one or two. Yeah.
And now your children are increasingly leaving the fold and around the world.
So my kids, Timori, the oldest, she lives in France with her husband and kids. Grandfather.
It's like, what is it like being a grandfather?
We'll get there. Let me finish with the other kids. And Noemi lives and works in Dubai. She's 31. 31? Yeah, 33. Anaya, who is here, go to WITS and do international relation, like her older sister did, Timori, at WITS. And yeah, being a grandfather, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. When people used to tell us, you will see, you will love your grandkids more than you love your kids. I really now understand it. I hope my daughters won't listen to this part, but they become, especially for my wife, because she have time, they become the center of your life. It's really, it teach you to have kids again, and then now you want to do it better than what you did before, because obviously you have more experience, you have more knowledge, you know what you didn't do 100% great before, maybe because you didn't have time or whatever. So now you want to do everything that you did not do with your kids. You want to do it with your grandkids, and it's, but it's I don't know, it's another level. I don't know how to put words on top of that feeling, but every time I see them, it's like, wow. And you see them growing, you realize, because I think your kids, you or me, I never seen them growing. When I say I never seen them growing, I never not appreciate. I never take time to realize or to appreciate the joy they were giving me growing. Okay, and I think as human being, you always you don't appreciate what you have when you have it. Okay, like, for example, and I'm just thinking about it now, it's yesterday I went for a lunch with my daughter, okay? I did appreciate, but instead of just appreciate and taking that full moment, okay, I was focusing on how I was missing the other kids to be there at that moment. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. It's like, just enjoy this moment. Don't focalize. I was like, okay, let's take a picture for the sister. We send them a picture, a message that we miss them and stuff like that. So why don't you put that aside and just focus on that moment?
I mean, when you say it, I think my focus often is on, are they all right? Have they done what they need to do? It's in terms of the things that they need to do in their lives.
Yeah.
Like with school, are you studying? Have you done the assignment? What time do you need to get to school tomorrow? So not appreciating the person.
You try
in that moment, I'm still thinking about, okay, how do I support them and help them become better people? And I guess, I mean, I remember we used to tease my father. My father used to drive. My older sister stayed in Sasolburg, and my father was in Lesotho. And my father would drive from Lesotho, so that's close to 400 kilometers, for Grandparents' Day. at creche for my nephew. Meanwhile, he wasn't able to attend even a sports day at a school that was down the road from his office, but he was always working. So, I mean, when you're describing, it's like he was enjoying the experience of the person because he's not as worried about how this person's going to turn out. Because as parents, you need to worry about you need to worry about all of those things.
That's what we told our daughter as well. Say, no, don't expect us to not what do you call it? To not give them to spoil them. Don't expect us from that. Okay? We are not the parent.
Yes, exactly.
You are the parent. You don't spoil them. But us, okay, will spoil them.
That's your job.
That's my job as a grandparent, is to spoil them. That's it. And if you are not happy, it is what it is. Yeah.
My brother, thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you, Kojo. It's really an honor. I don't know how many hours we've done. It doesn't even, oh my Lord, already. It's really a pleasure to have a conversation with you all the time.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this conversation. Please leave a review and subscribe. Check out the show notes for links to the guest, the podcast, and myself. I hope you enjoyed listening to the conversation as much as I enjoyed having it.